Hello my beauties. So this is the Q&A that you were asking for. All of the footage from my live had no sound, even though I recorded it on a separate account, which makes no sense to me, but that's okay. We're going to start in sections and then continue on. So basically we're going to start off with Nora's lore, and then we're going to go in with the character I'll explain to you about, and then we're going to go on to Q&A-ish, more discussing of how, like, the discussing of the lore, basically. And then we're going to go into Lola's lore, and then we're going to backtrack and review. Okay, so starting with Nora's lore, the first question that I got was, what is Nora? And this is a drawn out version of Nora herself. This is Lola. Common characters that you will see throughout my videos, etc., etc. Previous questions is, who is this person? Who is this person? This is actually Lola. And new questions that I've gotten, because I post on both my TikTok and my YouTube, only a little on my TikTok though, is who are they? Which we will get to in the second portion of this. So this is the notorious notebook. Of all of the edits and stuff. This kid. There were also questions on who he was in my DMs. So we'll also get to that in the second portion. But for now, let's focus on them. So, first question, backtrack. What is Nora? Nora is basically a creature. You know what? So, change of plans. First, we're going to start off with the background, because that's the most main important thing. If you haven't caught on yet, the background of this is based off a circus that was shut down, and the lore that you're getting from this is either present or past time. So, Lola and Nora are these two girls who are very close friends, maybe love interests, I haven't decided yet. So something that I never address is that Nora has vitiligo, and if I'm saying that wrong, please correct me, I don't know, I'm not a professional. But Nora does have vitiligo, and as you can also see, she is apparently this. So the idea is that she is this freak show, she's the main attraction, and that she is, say, she's supposed to be the star of the show. She's a clown, and she has horns, a nose ring to symbolize the bull accent of what she is. Her ears are elongated and furry, and she has a tail, which isn't normally there. It's iffy subject. And with that, we're gonna move into the lore now that we have the base covered currently. So this first segment is going to be about Nora, obviously, now that we've explained what she is. Exactly, now we're going to explain how she got there. So backtracking to her, not that, to this, if you never caught on to it, is because I even mentioned it, this is Nora's aunt. What happened to her mother died when she was an early age, around 5 years old. Not a big age. She doesn't remember it much at all. And slowly over time, her aunt started to go insane. And her aunt was originally in art and show and showing off things, and she was a gymnast. She did lots of things incorporating theatrics and art. Nora's aunt, who I have not named, sorry guys, sorry to disappoint, have not named her. Nora's aunt slowly started to go insane under the fact that Nora was the only roommate of her sister. So that also led her to become a very eager to do anything she could to keep her mind off of it. And she loved art and show business, and the fact that she was going insane led a lot of abuse towards Nora and to the kids that she took in, Lola and unnamed character for now. And so that led her to start the circus, and she would teach Nora how to do, well, circus things, backflips, back tucks, any gymnast proportion you can think of. She was taught that, and she was taught to do trapeze until they found Lola. And so she became the juggler, and she would handle with like lions and all of the more dangerous stuff, while Lola would also do dangerous stuff as well. And within this, it was really and again, she was not in the right mindset, and Nora was abused a lot. But then it got to the point where, which we get to, the news break from about 7 years ago, when the news circus was released. New circus, and it was a part of the Flightless Birds that I did this. And if you stopped it, you would see that this is the 12-year-old girl bull at the circus, watch now, and then the one-eyed trapezist. This could be recognized easily as Nora, but this is Lola. And Lola looks like this because she was considered a trapezist. She is a trapezist, and the reason she's currently blind will be explained later in the video. And she was also transformed into this type of creature that you can call an elf or a pixie, I guess. And the actual reason that Nora looks like that is because her aunt started experimenting with scientific things and wanted to make a more, during those developing years that Nora was learning the gymnastics, she would Nora's aunt would dabble in science and a lot of other things, and soon she wanted to do an experiment. And Nora, at the time she was a kid, she hadn't felt much love since her mother had died, and she wanted and she craved attention. And when it came to the part where right here, where it says, "Drink this, Nora, it's gonna make you the star of the show and everyone will love you," which you probably wouldn't have caught, which is why I'm showing you now. And the main reason I wrote this is because what she drank wasn't a potion of any sort. It wasn't even a potion. It was, it was a knockout serum, so she could inject genes of a bull and scientifically, what's the word? And bind them to her biological genetics and DNA. So, and that's the same thing that she did to, Nora doesn't understand this herself, by the way. Oh my god. And so, basically, that is the basis of what this is in general. That is how she became what she is right now. And the process of how she even got to the conclusion that she could do such a thing, and I'm talking about Nora's aunt, who I will find out for a name for later. But, and some of these videos, especially the one with 𝔸𝕤𝕙𝕖𝕣'G in it, that specific video, that was just to show how abusive it had gotten for Nora when Nora tried to run away. And that was during her, that was a little bit after her, transition. Alright, my pretties, that's the end of the second, or the first session. Now to focus on the second. Basically, I stopped recording, and that's over here. Who are these people? And who is this kid? Is the question of our third session, I believe. So, if you pay close attention to this portfolio, which I'm not sure you could have, but it says 𝔸𝕤𝕙𝕖𝕣'G, and it has this scenery and whatnot, and it should be vivid and colorful in your brains when you see it out of black and white. And to say at the least, he came after the two girls, which is why in this video they're grown up, but they never met. They never really crossed paths. And what I mean by that is, and what do you mean how? If you're asking how, then it's this specific that you need to look at. When Nora and Lola are in a battle against whoever they're leading, and this is one of the last posts that I posted, and then we moved on to this and the Rain Raw's video that I just posted a bit ago. By the time I post this, it'll probably be at least a few days after. But with this kid, he came afterwards, and he barely even met them. When she figured out that they were gonna escape, it hit her that she had no use, and she ended up collecting another kid. By the time they escaped, they had heard of another kid from the others, which none of them have been introduced yet, and they won't be for a little while. But the way she raised this kid is the way that she ended up raising him instead to make sure he didn't leave was happily and more conservative, so he doesn't have any real knowledge of the outside world. He's only ever been confined to the circus, and the circus moves because when they settled down, they ended up getting shut down because of how well the girls looked. They were the main two, the duo of the entire circus, and then he became it. And in the new video, it shows that right here, that he's under her control, and she's quite upset because she ends up trying to come back for him. And I haven't showed that yet, but if you do end up watching this video and you've gotten this far, there you go. She's gonna end up trying to go back for this kid because she doesn't want him to end up like him. She doesn't want him to end up like her. And basically, he's on a tightrope because he was raised apart from reality. And it's kind of the Truman Show for him. He lives inside of this room with a fake tree, fake sun, and fake everything. He was raised to be a clown, especially with the way he was raised. He was taught by her to do gymnastics and trapeze and all of these things to be everything that Nora and Lola weren't. This is his current present time. He was a baby when he was taken in. He was about 2 years old. Right now he's currently 8. And it's about the same time where Nora's aunt is going to try and transform him as well to get more attraction back. And not only has Nora's aunt done this before with other kids, but who you haven't seen, again, if you get this far in the video, congratulations, you have some spoilers. Or like up ahead, and you'll understand what's going on. I'm probably going to do another one of these videos just so you guys know. But yeah, I think with this segment, oh, we still have one other thing to do. Never mind. Now, with the idea of the transformation in mind, these people, we're going to cover who they are. These are the sketchy scientists. These are the whole reason that Nora was ever transformed, and they're also the reason why Nora's aunt is so crazy. Because when she started to go into that deep mindset that she was never going to get Nora's mother back, because Nora's mother is dead, as we know, she was perfect bait for these scientists and what they wanted. And they ended up hypnotizing her, as seen here, and gave her this potion, the genetic DNA, to implement into Nora and all the others. It first started with Nora. Lola is only a year younger, and she was taken in a little bit after Nora was about 6, and they grew up together and learned all these things and were abused by Nora's aunt. And so later, when Nora turned about 8 years old, Lola turned 8 years old shortly after, which the transformation that had happened with the DNA is shown on my posts, by the way. If you see those, a lot of lore will be randomly posted up there. If you check at all, you'll probably get more details about what happened to Nora and Lola there. And so with that, they end up like controlling her and making her think, oh, this is okay and this is amazing, and she ended up with, this is how it started, this is the basis of it. And I know all of this is out of order, which is the point. And it's supposed to be oh, sorry. Whew. This is the point, really. It's out of order for the main reason that it adds angst. And with that, it really concludes this session, but I'm going to do a little recap and go over some more finer details. If you have any questions, you can ask me as well. So with this is Jack. If we haven't gone over that already, I may have not forgotten, but he's not abused that much by Nora's aunt. He's sheltered, and Nora wants to go back after him, and that's one of the main reasons he stays, especially with Nora's aunt, because Nora's aunt wants to keep Nora there, and she wants to keep Nora herself, especially because she's the only thing that she has left of Nora's mother. It's the only reminder. And I think that's how I'd like to wrap the second part up. So yeah, next part. All right, my beauties, so now we're going to get on to a completely separate category, because how deep Lola's lore is completely bizarre to me. I don't even know how I came up with it sometimes. But when Lola and Nora met, let's start there. Lola was about 5 years old. Nora was 6 or 5, I think. They were both around the age of 5 or 4. So they grew up together, basically. And Lola got abused and hurt just as much as Nora did. And we can see that especially with, not this, this. This video that I made is one of my favorites because it's absolutely, it incorporates so much of Lola's lore, and I feel like I never really incorporate her personal lore that much as I do Nora. But she is not the happiest character, and anyone would know why, because I wouldn't want to be abused staying in there. This was for a video. I think this also adds onto the lore. I think it's because Nora would go through spurts where she would completely lose her mind, and it would freak Lola out. It would freak her out, and she hated it. And that's also what caused such hatred for the hatred that Lola has towards Nora's aunt. Because not only did she get abused and abused Nora, abused Nora the most, but she's also the reason why Lola is blind. Lola was made blind and taught acrobatics that way when she was about 6 years old, about 2 years before she had to take the things as well, which is why she has such pointed ears. And I don't necessarily know where it came from, but when she received those genes and DNA from the scientists, they didn't know what it was as well. I think it was, I don't know. But she has no sympathy for the place specifically, and that's a problem, really. And I really do think that Lola has a good heart, but she's been hurt so much by the circus that she doesn't want anything to do with it, especially not that kid. And in her previous life, she doesn't remember much, but she was born in a house, no hospitals, no records of her actually exist. She was never taken to a hospital. Records of Nora will never be found, especially since she's in the moving circus. I meant of Lola. Of Lola will never be found because she was abandoned at birth and she was born in a house. Lola basically doesn't exist in that sense. Nobody will go looking for her ever, and her parents are unknown. She was left on the streets, wandering around for days until Nora found her on the playground one fateful day, and she ended up getting taken by Nora's aunt. And she thought she was saved. So the heart-wrenching feeling when she ended up starting to get abused, it hurt me. I don't even know how I came up with it. Her lore is immaculate to the amount of energy I have in my brain. And the amount of tears that Nora has cried throughout her life is more than I think a person should cry ever. Because the nights that she was hurt and all of the times that she was held down or kicked or just walking around hungry, which they never were in the circus. They were always fed in the circus, but that was because Nora's aunt needed them to be okay for the circus so she could make money, which is how she fed them in the first place. That's how jobs work. And I think that lore behind her also built up how much rage she has for Nora's aunt, but not only some of the respect she has for being so persistent with how she took care of them. Because at least she didn't abandon them. In fact, she took them in. And the many other characters that will be presented sooner or later, as I mentioned in the second session, is also not necessarily known yet. Let's just say. But I genuinely think that this is a really good place to start. And if you have any questions at all, please ask me. I get no questions on here. Now, I think this is where I want to stop with this session because I've gone over Lola's backstory, and it really did fill up a lot of time. Alright, so this is the last section that we're going to be doing, and this section is probably going to be a review, and we're going to go over all of the things that I did before I even created these people. So, some sketches that I first had of Nora would be in this book. The one and the only sketchbook that I started with, this was the beginning. And yes, it's all really torn up, but this was the first page and there is no heading. And the first I had was of this clown girl who is genuinely scared, and I did love the idea of this insane little path. These sketches make me want to bawl my eyes out because they're so bad, but they were the spark of creation for Nora in general, and now I can have a base and I can draw Nora whenever. And then this was the inspiration. Yeah, I know it's small, but this was also going to be a outfit. I loved this one, but then I thought this one would be more reasonable for a clown. This one's more Y2K, which I loved, but and we also have this. This was after I drew that page is missing. I lost it, sadly. But it's the infamous page that started it all. It was the one trend where it's the first video you'll ever see of them as well. It's the video that started it all off. This was a post that I made right a few bits after. And then this is just a bunch of random stuff that I drew. And even speaking of this journey makes me so happy because we've come so far as well. I love drawing, but I've just never thought to show it to the world. And that's okay. Some of these are unfinished drawing challenges. And, this was the Here's a Song to Get to Know About Me one. And this one did end in one of my favorite things, a gruesome ending. And it's the get to know you part, which made me so happy. And this. I don't know, but YouTube won't let me post the credits for this because whoever did this, I spiced it up. Don't. This jawline changed my way of drawing forever. I don't know who made this, but when I tried sketching out myself, I don't know, I love you. This way of drawing inspired the circus master, aka Nora's aunt. This was a 50 subs thing that I was gonna do, which I thought was really cute, but I just couldn't do it. This was the first inspiration for her, which I still didn't know what she was going to be to Nora yet. And I was going to draw them in a cage, ever so to like show them off. But I think this was the first published drawing of Nora's aunt. And that was the first video that was Flightless Birds. Yeah. And this was also when I first featured Jack. I introduced 2 new characters. And I genuinely love how I drew her. Because it just even, well no, I think this was the first time I ever featured her. In the TV Girl one. And then the first time I showed her in her circus hat and outfit, it was in this video. That's when I introduced her. And this is a picture of the circus tent where there would be seats and whatnot in the ring. I did get the idea from The Greatest Showman to hear me out, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. I'm probably not going to include that in the video. Whatever. But the journey that I've taken with this, it just, I don't know. It makes me so happy to see that I have all of this support. And these were original drawings that I was going to do for Nora and Lola. Or I think it was going to be other characters, so this might be a spoiler, so I might blur this out. But these, especially this one's one of my favorite, that's one of my favorite drawings. These are unrelated. All of this together makes me so happy that I've even started this. And like this career in general. And I'm really happy. I'm really excited to put this all together and start all of this. Really, I started off in a really bad place when I started this channel, and it grew on me and I made dart, but I'm channeling those bad thoughts into something creative, and I think that's a really good thing. And I'm gonna be serious on a serious like topic right now. I think drawing, especially since I've gotten back into it, has made a serious. Oh, I just got an ad.
Target circle gets us 20% off, so let's grab it all.
I think it's made a serious impact on my life, especially when I went back to drawing. I haven't drawn in so long. I mean, I do doodles and stuff, but I've never done like real finishing projects drawing, and it's started to grow on me. I have full done drawings on my walls, and I used to do them for my school, but I haven't done a full drawing in a while, and I think that's a really good thing. I think that's progress, and I'm growing as a person, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. Genuinely, anyone who watches this video, I hope you enjoy watching my videos and just seeing how far we've come, especially since we just got 60 subs. I'm immaculately happy. I'm over the moon. It's wild. I never thought we would come this far, and I'm just happy that I'm here. So thank you for your time, my beauties, and I will see you later. I have to go edit this video, so I love you. Goodbye. Mwah.